Can you tell me like three aspects of women leadership proving themselves again and again?
So women bring a sixth sense, right, that guys in general don't have.
One thing in your life that you are consistent about, which has given you growth and mindset.
Growth is a never-ending road that you're on.
What is it that you think will lead to fulfillment that you're looking for going forward?
So I'm very impressed and pleasure to talk to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Wasina. Welcome back to Self-Discovery Podcast, a space where we uncover the mindset, beliefs, and inner evolution of leaders who are redefining what true leadership looks like from the inside out. Today's guest is an internationally acclaimed business leader whose 3-decade career has shaped some of the world's most respected outsourced services organizations. Roderick Jacobs, a Dutch executive known for his transformative leadership, has earned global recognition for delivering large-scale impact across the United States, Europe, and the Middle East. Roderick's career is distinguished by major achievements, including leading multi-billion-dollar contract wins, engineering company-wide transformation, and developing Center for Excellence strategies that have been implemented across more than 40 countries. His work has consistently elevated client satisfaction, employee engagements, and commercial performance on a large scale. His excellence has been recognized with multiple prestigious awards, most notably the MEFMA 2024 award for the largest and the best facilities management mobilization in the GCC, a landmark achievement in the region. He is also the recipient of the Global Excellence Award 2010 for co-creating customer value and the Golden Brick Award 2007 for outstanding hospitality design, showcasing his diverse leadership and creative vision. With a background that includes overseeing 200 plus brands in 80 countries and a reputation for people first, purpose-driven leadership, Roderick Jacobs brings a wealth of insights on growth, authenticity, and building high impact relationships and teams. Hi, Roderick. Welcome to my show, Self-Discovery Podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for the nice introduction.
How have all those diverse experiences shaped your understanding of what truly means lead with purpose or purpose-driven leadership in today's day and age?
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds like a mouthful, right? When you introduce me and say, well, this guy has done a lot, and when you get to be my age, I mean, over time, stuff. But ultimately, I mean, I grew up in hospitality business, right? That's where I started at a young age, and you learn very quickly that leading with purpose is all about people and clarity, right? The more clear you are, the more you understand the other person, the better it is. And actually good for your personality because, you get constant feedback from people. If they're not happy, they let you know, right? In no uncertain terms. And so now I'm from the Netherlands and people are a little bit more reserved there and they're fairly nice. But when I first moved to the US and people are very vocal there and they could complain and then they could leave, also be very happy, right? Deal with that. And so this constant feedback that you get, right? And that is the real key to becoming better and understanding people. And as you go then into the business world, you realize everything starts with you. So my motto is sort of it starts with me. That is where that's where it is. And I have to deliver that kind of energy. I have to deliver that kind of environment that makes the other person comfortable to do whatever it is, to have a conversation, to do business with you, and go from there. And that is that you learn over time to shape that as you first go into jobs. It's mostly task oriented. That's what you do, right? You have to do 10 things and you do those and then a job well done. But then as you go further on in life, right, it's communication becomes much more important and the social skills become more important to be part of that. So it's the focus on ultimately learning what is the outcome, right? I mean, what does this person really want, right? And so, and over time, and certainly the last 10 years, I really, spend a lot of time just focusing on that and learning that. How do you do that better, right? And I've been in the service industry all my life, and you learn. I mean, women are a little bit better at it than men, right? I mean, we are not always the smartest people in the room, and so you learn through failures and through successes what that is to be successful and how to drive that particular process. And I think the combination of that helps you to deliver what you ultimately need. And and I think particularly I learned this at CBRE. CBRE does it really well. It's just a focus on what is the outcome, right? And what is it ultimately that this person, this company, this group, what do they want? Do you really understand that and clarify, right? And then you go working backwards and deliver that. That is the process. And so I think, and if you do that consistently, that is what people are looking for in leadership, right? I mean, tell me what to do, be clear. Some people need space, other people need a little bit more hand holding. So you have to get into the people understanding of that. Everything tick, no matter what the task at hand is.
We have seen your career and the profile that you have. So throughout your career, you have focused on transformation, continuous improvement. Could you share a moment that challenged your beliefs and you had to change your leadership style and you said, okay, fine, this has become obsolete, so I need to outgrow this and probably imbibe these latest leadership style that is required on the field. So was there any moment like that?
So a couple of times, in particular, when I went sort of from operations roles into more strategic roles, and then you move into a communication role. And obviously, I was in the US, and most people speak English there, but English is for a lot of people their second language, for me too. And as such, you have to make sure that the people on the other side first understand what you say. And so when you're in operations, you're a doer, you have high energy, you have the sort of, yes, we can, let's go, guys, and get things done. And that motivational piece, that drives. But when you move in, and that works in operations, but when you move into more strategic roles where you have to teach and have to get other people to implement best practices or whatever it is, go to other countries, you first have to understand them before they actually go and do it. So why would they do it other than that their boss tells them, well, that is not how it works, right? So then it's about, so how do you first make sure that they do that, they understand you? So, and for that, I become sort of, instead of the doer, you become the clarifier, right? Clarify things. And do you understand this? And how does this work? And then you get with the inspiration piece. So that is, and sometimes, in the beginning, I would skip that. I would say, I'll just forget it. Let's just go and do this, right? And that doesn't work, right? So so you have to really take the time to make sure that you understand everybody's psychological profiling. I think is a fabulous skill to master and to understand who's in front of you. How do they like to be communicated to, right? What makes them tick? What doesn't make them tick? How do you provide feedback, right? So that is critically important. And I think those skills, what Compass Group is a fabulous company, and what they really focus well on, and I was part of that, is like, how can we sell more, right? And it was a company that grew through acquisition, and in particular in the US, bought all these companies, but it was all disjointed. So how do you bring that together and have more, a higher percentage of wins when you sell a service? Is people can't touch it, they can't feel it, smell it. So you have to bring it to life for people. So how do you do that, right? And so you learn over time that as you sit in front of clients and they tell you, well, we chose you because we thought that maybe our lasagna was a little bit better than the competition, but that's not how they choose. I mean, everybody can make a decent lasagna. That's not how we choose you, but we really liked you as a team. We understood, you understood us really well. You were easy to deal with, to communicate with, and we liked the energy and the people on your team. So when you think about what they say, how do you replicate that? How do you get that, every client to say that? That has to do with human behavior, right? And so the depth in that is so important as you go become a leader, is to understand it's all about people, right? And I mean, you read this all over the internet, it's all over LinkedIn, and everybody says it. When you really dig into it and you really understand it, and it's part of your DNA of what you do every day, I think that grows you as a leader.
You have mentioned that, women are getting better, and they are better in terms of, say, service industry. You have mentioned that. So can you tell me like 3 aspects of women leadership today, with more and more women coming in the workforce and, proving themselves again and again in industry?
So women bring a sixth sense, right, that guys in general don't have, right? So, and now being of a certain age and looking back, I only wish, right, that I paid attention to the things that women were telling me, right? And I was also not, I didn't hear it. So women are intuitively better with people, right? They understand who is cross for them, and there's much more of a focus for them on that. It's also culturally, women at younger ages, they get treated differently than boys. And so generally, I won't speak for every country, but people coming to the workplace completely unprepared for the psychological aspects that they're dealing with, right? Because the workplace is a hostile environment, and it's fronted by fake smiles and fake behavior, right? And you don't understand that. You think everybody's nice, but they're not. Women get that much better than men do. I think women also have a better sense of humility from that end. So besides the people skills, the humility of is we're going into a man's world. I've made that part of that world, and you see that they have a different style that they bring, and they also realize a high, a very strong female that is scary to a lot of men. That may limit their career ambitions. So the perception of that is a skill that women automatically have, and therefore you're automatically better. And I think women at times are able to communicate that better because it's easier for them to say. For a man, it's not that easy to go and talk about your feelings and emotions and all of those kind of things. And that is second nature for a lot of women to do that. Back to my we're fronted in the workplace hostile and it's fake. Now you turn it into sort of a professional DNA, right? That works really well. And I saw that quickly on all my teams that had to do things for you. And you just saw that the women were having more success in terms of client satisfaction, higher retention rates, things of that nature. So I think women can really just, in the beginning of their career, accelerate. And of course, you see that today. And they understand that a little bit better. And many users take advantage of that. Yeah.
Rick, I would just ask you one thing here. You have dealt with, people from all aspects of life, okay? Junior, senior, and, your peers as well. So what are the three aspects or three beliefs that you have noticed of an empowered individual? Like when you speak to someone, okay, you understand, this guy is really, he has worked on himself or herself, and they have developed that empowerment in them. So what are the three beliefs that you have noticed, which are really important?
Yeah, well, let me start with an analogy, right? So there's a video goes around only about President Obama when he's asking, what's a great person, right, to work with? And it's the person who gets stuff done, right? That is his answer. And you don't have to be the best. You don't have to be perfect, but empowered. There's somebody who says, okay, I'll take care of that and gets it done. I love that too, right? So that's in my personality to say, let's do this and go do it, right? And just come back and tell me that it's done, right? Don't tell me, all the 25 steps that are in the middle and all those little details and do it. Just get it done, right? And that is empowerment, I think. And that earns you then also the right to be more independent and to take more on, right? And to do that. So make things easy for your people that you work with and for your boss, right? And ultimately, it is about getting things done in a positive manner. And Obama also says, right? He is people that come to you and they will give you a 12-page dissertation about why things can't be done, right? And they'll give you the 75 reasons why it can be done. And okay, tell me the one thing that can be done, right? So what can we do, right? That is, and making sure it's done on time or maybe a little extra early, that is empowerment at any stage. It's expected from leaders at higher end that you just go ahead and do here the keys and I'll make sure you hit my number. But as you're coaching all along, that is what it is. And doing that in a style with an environment that works for people. And you have to, again, and it goes back to understanding. I love DISC. So DISC has 4 personality styles and they all require a different communication style to them. And what you say to one person will turn the other one off. So it is very intricate. It takes a long time to learn and master. When you do that, it helps you understand your team. It also helps you understand of how you should build a team, right? If you have 7 of the same people, you may not be successful as you need various styles in there. That is how it works. It should be a mix maybe of male and female, but it should be style driven. That's an empowerment. And then people who you see that in relationship management, right? If you own the relationship with the client, everybody will defer to that in the company. It's like, well, hey, so-and-so, she's good with the client. Let her do it, right? Because that's where the trust is, right? So it's a self-starter, getting it done, owning a relationship, and then ultimately knowing how to get it done. Not perfect, but do it good.
So one thing in your life, okay, that you have done, because growth comes from consistency. We have seen it, we believe in it, we have done it over again. One thing in your life that you are consistent about, which has given you growth and, that mindset of going on in life.
It's the search for what's next, right? So growth is a never-ending road that you're on. So it's not like, we've done the project, we're finished. You can never lean back. And so complacency is not something that should ever be in your mind. Right? So it's always what's next. And are in big organizations and you're always driven by budgets, right? So and that budget is always, it always goes up you need to do more next year. That's the expectation of the financial markets. So that trickles down into, you have to be, that is what the world is when you realize that. And I love that too. When you finish something, well, what else can I do? So what is next? What are we going to work on? And what are we going to fix, or are we going to make something better? Right? I love to understand what's good, but how can we make it just better? Right? And just continuing turning that wheel, and that avoids complacency, that avoids things being always the same, and that drives a good part of certainly of my DNA of wanting to be better all the time. And it doesn't matter how old you are. And I like to do it together with people. It's great when you win and you're number one, but it's nice when the feeling is inside is just so much better that you have as a person that, we won as a team and look at what they did. So anything that comes to me, today I look at, well, who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? And my role is perhaps not to do it, but is to ensure that the team succeeds. And from that, you get personal satisfaction to do that. And within all of that, I'm going to say, be humble, right? I mean, no matter what the title says, I mean, I'm not a better human being than anybody in a starter job or from any other different culture. So I think being nice to people, it doesn't matter where you go. It's if you do that, the doors will open for you.
So, Rick, what are the 3 core values of you, okay, as a human beyond titles that defines you?
So positive, clear language. I like to speak in language that my mother understands. And I've learned over time when I do that, it doesn't matter what kind of business you represent or what product it is. You very often, sit around the table, IT company, they have IT speak, or you have now AI speak, and it's all this lingo that goes around, and nobody gets it, right? What is it exactly that you do? And these new words that come with it, they may be good for technical things, but I love it when things are clear. So I love clarity, and it's maybe also because I'm Dutch. I like yes or no, black or white, and the stuff in the middle, the maybe. That is, I focus on that to make it go either way. So I like it clear, I like it simple, and I like a good start and end to it. So I believe that that work stops at some point, and we should all go home, and home should be a private life, and you should have time for that. I'm always put myself, from a vulnerability perspective up front. I'm certainly not perfect, and I may not know. Explain this to me. Let me know when it isn't good. So I love that clarity. And when you do that, that generally works. It's worked really well for me.
Rick, you have been in the industry for the last 2 decades. And now you are, what is it that you think that will lead to that fulfillment that you're looking for going forward?
I love, so I've now gotten to a point where I really like helping people, right? So, I mean, I'm not perfect, but I know a lot of stuff that works, right? And I've seen that really work over time. And so I've spent the last year reaching out to, various, just, people I don't know, companies I don't know, just for to have a cup of coffee or a conversation. And I see the struggle that they have. And I say, I can help you with this or this. And when you do that, and I'm not looking for a job, I'm not looking for anything in return, but I just get real satisfaction out just helping somebody quicker from A to B, right? And because that's what I've had in my career. There were some people that have just said to me, hey, come, and I'll help you. And by doing that, they really gave me sort of a secret door to the next level. I had this German guy that I worked with, and he said, in New York, and he said, oh, you can come with me, come sit at a table, don't say a word, right? Keep your mouth shut and just learn and listen how it goes. And that experience of just sitting at the table was, I need to do that as well. I think that is what I need to do. It feels more important than ever. And I've always liked mentoring, right? I've always liked helping people with that. And you see that I got a note from somebody I was mentoring 15 years ago. He's an Australian, and he reached out to say, I just want to say thank you for that. And,
Wow.
I remember that too. I mean, this German guy, he's, and a few other people, and I'm sure you do too. And that's important to me. And that's how I enjoy doing life.
Absolutely. Actually, you have spoken with clarity. You have spoken your mind out. And I believe that's really, really clean and amazing energy that we have had today in the podcast.
I don't do too many of these. And when I first, clearly you have done an amazing job building up an amazing audience. But I like your angle. And I think in particular, not just on the business aspect, but how does this sort of work from a personal aspect? How do you feel good about it? I'm the happiest at the moment I've ever been. Yeah. And it is because I learned all this stuff at work and failures. And what grabbed my heart was your focus on that. So, so I'm very impressed and pleasure to be here and talk to you. I'd love to do it again.
Thank you so much.